I was going to talk about your book. So,
Yes.
where did you come up with this? Where is it coming along?
Yeah, the one that I just released.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, once again, wear chainmail to the apocalypse. People can find books one, two, and three. It's a three-book series that comes together Voltron style to form one novel. But yeah, it's wear chainmail to the apocalypse on Amazon. I came up with the idea actually back when I was working in comics. I want to say that it was a discussion that came out on a message board where we were talking about, and I don't even, and this is where we talk about intellectual property and who owns what. Uh, I don't even remember. I'm pretty sure it was my idea. I'm not 100% sure.
I guess.
But if someone else, but if someone else wants to write a similar idea, I won't complain. But basically, I was thinking about, in the event of a zombie apocalypse, the people from medieval times, like this is what they've been waiting for. They have got the chain mail, they've got the full plate mail, they've got their swords, they have horses, they are set. And so that was the idea. But like a lot of comic book ideas, you kind of sit on it for a while.
Yeah, let us
And
do.
let stew. And eventually, my wife and I went to Marfa for a kind of a short vacation, and I started writing. And I started off not with the knights, but I started off with a guy that was working at a PR agency. He was a copywriter, in no way based off of me. But yeah, like I wrote about this guy who basically decided to come to work during the apocalypse and got trapped in his office. And so, like, he can't leave. He's stuck there. There's zombies surrounding the office building. And so he's just kind of there. He's raiding the vending machine. He's trying to keep himself entertained. He's sleeping on the couch in the break room. He has to go to the bathroom, the corporate bathroom that's in the hallway, but it's completely in the dark because the power's out.
Oh, that's funny.
I mean, and yeah, that and from that, eventually the story gets to the point where he gets out,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then the novel begins once he actually finds the courage to leave, and he runs into this group of knights who work at a B-rate version of medieval times called Funfair. And it's an apocalyptic road trip story. I mean, this is a beloved genre of mine because when you have zombies, you have to go on the road. Apparently, that is like the law of the genre. Is we
I
got
can
to
see
go
that.
from
I can
point A
see
to
that.
point B. Yeah, we got to travel, and then of course the zombie genre is all about getting trapped in buildings. So they get trapped in a hotel along the way. He was trapped in a waffle. So anyway, but yeah, it was fun though because as I was writing the story, it became oddly humorous in stages, and I found my voice as a humor writer. But then there were other moments where it became very serious. I began to explore ideas about the patriarchy, about violence. What does it mean when you've prepared and you've done all this preparation, and someone comes along with a gun and just takes it all from you? So there's this idea that it's like, okay, I'm going to be fine during the apocalypse because I have my little backyard garden and I have my chickens and I've been preparing and saving, and then just someone takes it from you. I mean, that's fascism right there. The strong win out. And so that became kind of the theme of the novel is what happens when you're in a world where people just take from you, and how do you kind of take back? How do you reassert yourself? What are the leadership models beyond just this very sort of patriarchal perspective? And anyway, it became
Huh.
a story that went into 1,000 different directions, and for whatever reason, it came together and it just made sense. And towards the end of the book, I got into a really good rhythm with it, and at a certain point, I had always working on comics, and you know how this is. You have to outline and script everything out so carefully. You can't just whatever
Yeah, you
a
can't
comic.
just go because, yeah.
because you've got 24 pages. You have to figure out where, yeah, just gonna be like, I don't even know what the next panel is going to be. Like, you got to work that stuff out. But working on a novel, I kind of just put the outline aside. Just said, let's just see where this story takes me. And that's part of the reason why it took me so long to finish it.
Okay.
The next series that I'm working on is definitely outlined because I want to finish it during my lifetime. But for that first novel, it was like, you know what? I've been working on comics for so long. It would just be nice to push the outline aside and be like, I don't know where these characters are going to end up. I don't know what's going to happen to them. But what it also means is you have to do a lot of rewriting because things happen later on. You have to go back and change it, make sure that it works. And
can't really do that with a comic because it's already out.
Yeah. Or even, and this is what was so great about Amazon KDP, I made a change to the last page of the book a week before the book came out.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And this change, if anyone picks up on it, only the smartest readers will notice it. See, that's my little teaser there. If you're a smart reader, you'll pick up on this. But my wife was so against it. She was like, you cannot make that. You can't make that change on the last page. It changes everything. I was like, or does it? And she was like, you can't do it. I was like, I'm going to do it anyway. And so I did. And I don't know, but it was funny because, like, you can't do that in a comic where you're like, it's going to come out next week.
Yeah, just for real.
And I'm just going to redo the whole thing.
I'm coming across that now in my professional world because I work in digital emails, and it's, hey, we want an email released in 30 minutes. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it. So yeah, the technology age has really helped us out in that kind of stuff. That sounds fun. So when you started writing this, so you just didn't know where your characters are gonna head towards. You just kind of put them in a scenario and then just let them grow and have their interactions organically.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, and even I liked the idea that maybe the narrator wasn't the main character.
Okay.
That kind of like a Great Gatsby thing where he's narrating it, but it's really about Gatsby. But when I started writing it, the guy that I thought would be the main character didn't interest me as much. He was kind of he was kind of a William Shatner type character. He was just the alpha male that was the dude in charge, and he bored me. And he still serves a point in the story, but I was like, why am I making this guy the main character? But then there was another character named Joan who I found her voice like immediately, and I really liked her. And so even things like who's the main character, where's the story going, a lot of that stuff was up in the air. I had the characters, and these are all people that, when people ask, well, is this character you? I go, well, technically they're all me.
Yeah.
Like
right.
all the characters are me. Even the female characters, I'm pulling from my own experience. I can only write about myself. They're not all going to be 42-year-old white males, but there's something about my understanding and my perspective that is inevitably going to shape the story. I'm shaped by the breakfast cereal I eat and the Netflix shows that I consume, and it all goes into the book in some way, shape, or form. And so, yeah, I knew that they were going to a log cabin village. So they were going from one anachronism to another. So, and I knew that they may get there.
Oh.
I mean, but that was their direction.
Yeah.
And I knew that, there was going to be a big twist in the middle. But besides that, I really didn't know where it was going.
I remember Robert Rodriguez talking about that when he did Once Upon a Time in Mexico. So there's a conversation between two characters, and he said, I just put them at the table, and then they started talking. And then I didn't even realize that one character had a gun on the other guy, because he told me. Like, I didn't say anything. I just kind of let it happen. So do you like that format? So I know you're saying your notebook, you're way more outlined. How outlined are you in comparison to where you want to be, where you could be? Are you leaving like openings for yourself?
Yeah, I mean, that's inevitable. I mean, when you're writing something that's several hundred pages, things are going to sneak in there that you didn't expect. But this next project is a lot more carefully outlined, really just because I want to finish it in a timely basis. If you need to finish something quickly, you outline it. If you just kind of want to take your sweet time, yeah, just jump in and start writing. So the first book, I was just, where Chainmail was just taking my time, wanted to have fun with it. This next one, I mean, I essentially know all the major plot points.
Okay.
I know the major turns. There's, I mean, with any story, the character has a plan, and then they get to that point where it's like the world doesn't care about your plans. Something new happens, and you have to keep having those moments, because if everything goes according to plan, and if Johnny makes good choices, you don't really have a story. You have to have those moments where they say, we're only going, when we rob this bank, we're only going to, take the money from the tellers. We don't hit the vault. And you're always going to have that moment right before the third act where they change their mind and decide we're going to go hit the vault. Yeah, I mean that's storytelling 101. And so with the new series that I'm working on, I just had to figure out what were those moments where they betrayed the thing that they were supposed to be all about.
So when you're releasing Chainmail, were you nervous about the zeitgeist and the timing of it at all, or was it like, okay, this may be in my favor?
I mean, technically, what is it? What's that one movie with Gwyneth Paltrow that's really popular right now that came out a while ago? Contagion?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Contagion is crazy popular right now. And so I think that the apocalyptic genre needs to be retitled the It Could Be Worse genre.
Okay.
Because that's essentially what we're doing, is we're going, oh, wow, this coronavirus is really scary. But I just read Where Chainmail to the Apocalypse. That's much worse. I'm glad we're not dealing with that. And maybe that's it, a little bit of escapism. But I think that there is that desire to stare the thing that scares us in the face,
Yeah, I can see that.
And, so much of the apocalyptic genre is about the, fragility of existence. That, I mean, technically, everyone on the planet is going to die. It's just an apocalypse is coordinated death. We're all going at the same time,
Yeah.
And then that messes with continuity, because now we're not creating more of us to keep having their existences. But I mean, the idea of, won't it be scary when the world ends? Well, the world is always ending. The world, we're always losing people. And, I lost my grandmother and my friend Tammy, last year. Well, everyone they knew just left them because they left. And, I know that's a bleak idea, but I think the apocalyptic genre appeals to us because we're always dealing with that one day the world's going to end. And I think there's something about the apocalyptic genre that says, but I'm going to make it.
Yeah.
To be the one guy that, for whatever reason, for dumb luck, he meets up with a group of knights who take care of him, and
you're off to an adventure.
I'm off on an adventure, and I'm going to make the smart choices. I'm not going to be like that guy who, and that's really the title, Where Chainmail to the Apocalypse, is really, it's a call to that idea of, I'm going to make the smart choices. I'm going to do the thing that will help me survive.
I'll be prepared.
I'll be prepared. I'll be the one that is well prepared for this. I've got it all set up, and I'll be fine.
Cool. Well, let's wrap this up real quick. It's been great talking to you again.
Thank you.
Where can people find you?
Yeah, I am on thatdavidhopkins.com. And you can find everything there. That David Hopkins has a ton of my comic book stuff, my magazine stuff, some of the D&D modules that I've written, and the books that I've released. It's all there, and just click around, find something. You can sign up for my newsletter, and if people sign up for my newsletter, they will get a free book. So my short story collection. You sign up for it, you get the PDF of it. So anyway, thatdavidhopkins.com. Yeah, thanks so much for doing this. This was great.
Yeah, it's we're all stuck at home, and especially everybody I know. We all promote via these cons, and they're all gone. So
Are you going to have more people on?
Yeah, I kind of want to do a takeover fan expo and do stuff over fan expo weekend because everybody planning to go
Yeah.
isn't.
Oh,
So
that's great.
might as well fill the day up. And I just want to relate this story to you real quick. I was at a con recently that bombed, and I saw a person walk by, which I recognized because I believe this is the person who thought you were the furry artist.
Yeah. Does he have like the little raccoon thing?
He
Yeah.
had the tail. I recognized his
Yeah.
face, but he didn't have the hat.
Yeah.
I was confused. I was like, that is that the guy? I thought if you take the hat off, you'll see his brains because that thing was always on.
Yeah. No, I got to say, in case anyone is watching and they don't know what we're talking about, um, yeah, there's another David Hopkins that works in the comic book industry, and he does furry, erotic furry comic. For whatever reason, I wasn't willing to like reveal my identity, although apparently I'm at a comic book convention. So yeah, he wanted me to keep signing those comics, and I was like, no, man, that's not me. I'm not that guy. But he was like, I know that you're him. I know that it's you, and I'm like,
Nah,
no.
you're not this David Hopkins. You're that David Hopkins.
Yeah, exactly. That davidhopkins.com, not the other one.
Cool, cool. Well, great. So let's end this real quick, and then be well, dude. Take care in these crazy
Likewise.
times. Hope I'll see you
Read
around.
good. Yes, you take care, man.
Take it easy. Bye bye. Let me
Bye.
find a. Like I've never done this before. There you go.